If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
So when you see people taking their freedoms for granted, all I keep thinking about is, you know, there's a whole bunch of families that are without their mom and dad. I think when someone has given their life so that we can be free, that the responsibility aspect of voting trumps the right.
But perhaps there is a simple answer. Not an easy answer, but simple. If you and I have the courage to tell our elected officials that we want our national policy based on what we know in our hearts is morally right.
I took out my shoe and a man in a trench put up his hand like this and, you know, called me. So I thought, well, he didn't take a shot, and I ran and jumped in. And when I did, there was about 12, 15, I don't know exactly, but with the field gray uniform and this eagle with the swastika in the middle, with bayonets on their rifles. And the man just said pistol. And I reached in and gave him my 45. And I was now a POW.
And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man.
Bombs were exploding all around the city of Baghdad, and we'd later learn that they were exploding all around Iraq as al-Qaeda terrorists tried to intimidate people so they wouldn't go to the polls. An imam, that's a spiritual leader, he had once ordered his people to take the lives of Americans, but since he had worked with us over the last few years, his heart had changed because he had seen the courage and selfless sacrifice of our soldiers. And he took to the air that day, and he told his people, if bombs were exploding all around you, get down on your knees and crawl to vote. They did. They did. More than 62% of the Iraqis eligible to vote actually came out and voted that day. A few short weeks later, I was lucky enough to go back home. No bombs exploding. It was a beautiful sunny day. And only 19% of the people in my local community bothered to come out and vote.
There's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty.
Being dressed in dress blues and going to the door of the family and a little boy running around the corner and saying, "Mommy, Mommy, Daddy's home." And as she came around the corner, she realized it was not her husband, and she knew precisely why we were there.
This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
It's our responsibility to exercise our right to vote.
Well, they have the best country in the world.
It's a duty. It's a responsibility.
But not just the right to vote, but the right to cast an informed vote.
We can honor them best, and we can make their life worth it by using the freedoms for which they fought and died for.
You and I have the ability and the dignity and the right to make our own decisions and determine our own destiny.
It's not just your right.
It's your responsibility.
Let's do it for them.